Welcome to the hexdevs podcast. I'm your host, Tiago.
And I'm your co-host, Stephanie.
Today we have a very special guest, Stella. Welcome to the podcast, Stella.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
We are super excited to having Stella here. She's our first guest in the podcast. And I met Stella at the Polyglot On Conference here in Vancouver this year. So thank you so much for joining us. And would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself, about your technical background? Where are you from?
Okay, I'm a software engineer. I'm from Colombia. I have 10 years working in this industry. I studied computer science and then I did a master's degree in software engineering. And that is my academic part. For work, I started working in an agency called Colombia in Barranquilla. Mainly we did Ruby on Rails. So I started as a junior developer, then as a senior web developer, and then I moved as a technical lead. I worked there for 5 years, and then I got a job offer as a CTO of a small startup, kind of Uber, but they did something to make it legal in Colombia. I really don't know about legal stuff, so and I joined that startup, and for that specific problem we were trying to solve, Ruby was not enough. I have been always very fun in Ruby. Besides in college, I started my first language was C, and then I learned Java, then I learned PHP, and then I learned Python. But once I joined the agency, I fell in love with Ruby. But in this case, it was my first time I realized Ruby was not enough. So I started doing a research, and this product was developed in Node.js. So it was really challenging because I was learning, but at the same time I was hiring my team and building this product. So I was there for 1 year. And then they were running out of money. So after that I joined Hearst. That is in New York. Hearst is a big media company, and they have a division called Hearst Digital Studios. That was the one that I joined. And there I was able to work in Cosmopolitan, the digital version, Cosmobody. So it was really challenging for me. It was my first taste of having an international career, because I was working all the time in Colombia, but this company was in New York. I was in Colombia working remote, but still I started getting a lot of the difference between working in a company in Colombia than working for a company in North America. So I worked for them for 4 years. So 2 years in Cosmobody, and then 2 years working in Complex, that is another division they acquired. But then I really wanted to move abroad. So I started looking for jobs, and now I live in Vancouver.
Nice.
Wow. 10 years of experience. That's nice. And I remember that you mentioned that you were also an organizer of the Rails Girls community in Colombia.
Yeah. I was trying to make sure those 10 years. So, other side, all this free time, I have worked a lot with communities in Colombia. So the first thing I started was the Rails Girls workshop in Barranquilla. That was my city. And then since I moved to Bogota, I started another chapter there. And I started another little chapters in Medellin, in Cali, with the help of other people. So I started getting known by the Rails Girls community. And then I joined a group of friends to start a conference. That is RubyConf Colombia. We have 40 years doing it. We did it 3 years in a row. We stopped because everyone was moving abroad. And now that we are settled, we are doing this year again. So the main goal for the conference is it's not a non-profit, so I don't get any cents from that conference. But this is really good because in my case and my friends, we work for companies that were able to pay a ticket. Like my company in New York was able to pay like a ResCon ticket and like fly me to US to attend like a big conference. But so many of the people in Colombia, they cannot afford that, and companies don't pay that. So I got to know like a lot of people like Tenderlove or Eileen or Sandy Metz. And then I was like, hey, would you go to Colombia to inspire my people? And they say yes, so let's do it.
Nice.
So I feel like every time we do like a Ruby conference, people in Colombia get inspired by other people that are doing like really cool stuff, but also we can show what local talents are doing. So we try like to find very good local speakers to show what they are working on too.
Wow, that is really nice.
By your
That's
side,
nice.
yeah, I have do a lot of community work. I started two communities. One is Cody's with other girls. Cody's comes from Codes and Ladies. So this organization was more about like supporting women in tech. Like there are so many issues, known issues that we have when we work in a male-dominated industry. So we were trying to be there to help them to overcome these issues. And Pioneras was born in Medellin. They were born by other girls and they invited me to join. What Pionera does is like a group of girls and they study together. Like every 2 weeks they met and one of them like lead the learning or something. So I started like being in Bogota but trying to join there and being supportive because I had like my career, but they were like starting. So I was that point of reference to say, oh, Stella, I have an interview. I want to practice. So I was trying to be there. Yeah, I do a lot of work community.
Oh my God, that is awesome. I must say that I went to the RubyConf in São Paulo. At the time, also the company that I was working in São Paulo, they paid for the ticket. And I also did the Rails Girls workshop in São Paulo. I was also a coach in 2017, and I did the Rails Girls Summer of Code last year. So I just want to say that I think that the Rails community is one of the best communities. I need to know if there is another community like the Rails because I haven't discovered yet, but I just want to say thanks to everyone in the Rails community because it's a global, really nice community. So
yes, and also I'm thinking on starting Rails Girls Vancouver here because there is no Vancouver chapter.
yeah,
So this is a good opportunity for invite you.
let's do it.
Okay.
If anyone that is interested and is listening to this right now, you can send us an email and let's do it.
Yes. Coming soon, probably after summer because summer is like vacation time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's great. So what are the challenges? Because you said like you were coaching girls, so they wanted to like learn more how to do software development. Can you tell us a little bit like what are the challenges they face, like what they need to learn? What are the things that they should start doing if they want to get a job in the industry?
Okay, that is like a very hard question because there is so many things. For example, from the culture I come, there is a lot of cultural things. I'm gonna start like mentioning. One thing that happened is like first the industry is not ready. So one thing that happens is like we try to get more people in tech, but then when they are in tech, we don't keep them safe. So there's one issue. So women have to be strong and be aware that, okay, this is the problem. It's not a personal, it's not with me. It's a problem in the industry.
Yeah.
Let's try to help, to improve, to give feedback, to learn how to give good feedback about it. And people is starting to change. Like since I started, it's getting better, but still there is some things to work on. So this is one issue. Another issue that happened when I was coaching these girls there is something cultural about tech is for male. And in Colombia, for example, what makes a woman success is to be married and have kids. And when they see them like going to these workshops and learning like to code and stuff, and some families start pushing back about it. So it was really challenging. By other hand, there is some preconceptions that come from our childhood, because
That's fine. That's okay. We get it.
And what happened is like when girls start growing and start playing with toys, like for men they get like the balloon and they get to get up in a tree or to play with cars and stuff.
Video games,
jump. But woman is more, be careful. You see it, you're gonna get hurt. You have to be careful. So when people grow up, the man is more like into taking challenges because they are used to take challenge since they are kids. Where women, this is a very long topic, like I don't understand, but women start to be like the default is to be careful about it, always careful, like, and this affects a lot of things.
Yeah, that's true.
Aspect that people don't realize, but when women are doing interviews, this is going from childhood to interviews phases. This is like whole our life. So when people is in interview, like there is a studies that shows that men, they are like, oh, what are the requirements? The requirements are A, B, C, D, E. I know A, B, C, D. I don't know E, but I'm just gonna Google and I'm gonna figure it out. So I'm just gonna apply for the job. In the case of the woman, since they are like thinking about being careful, and this is like, oh, you are not allowed to fail. You have to be careful.
Yeah.
Because you are not allowed to fall. So women is like, oh, the requirement says E. I don't know E. What happens if they are interviewing me and the first thing they ask is E? They're gonna realize I'm a failure, so I'm just gonna go back.
Yeah.
And I won't apply. So this is hard. This is hard because like there is a lot of like elements that affect us. And people even like I know that our parents, what they are trying to be careful when we are little, they don't realize what they are doing, but they are doing it.
Yeah,
so
that's true. I think it would be nice to have another episode.
I know,
because you mentioned that you said like you have been seeing a lot of improvements. I would love to know more about that and also know your perspective on what the industry can do right now to improve that. That would be a really, really good discussion. And so you mentioned that you always wanted to move abroad.
Yes.
So was that when you were working for this American company or when you were still in Colombia?
Well, I think like my first impression was when I was working with the agency, the first agency. I had to travel a lot to US because I had to like attend clients and build roadmaps with my team because I was the technical lead. So I travel, build a roadmap, and go back. So I was like, when I traveled the first time to US, and I was like, oh my God, everything here is so organized. It works. Everything works. I don't have to save my phone because it's gonna be stolen in the street. So I was so happy, and I was like, I definitely really want to explore the possibility of living somewhere else. After some years, I started working in the US company, but I realized like the US paper is like is super hard. I know some people get it, but for me it was like, oh my God, this is like a very long process.
Very long process.
Don't even like, there is a lot of people that is really good and don't even get it. So I was like, I don't know if I want to do that a lot of work. So probably I'm gonna start exploring another countries. So first time I started exploring Europe. So I did an interview in Amsterdam and another in Berlin with another platform that I use called Honeypot. Some things that happens is like, for me, people that is trying to move abroad, they have to also like read about the different of cultures. So being there, I identify like if I had to move to Amsterdam, it's good English if you live in Amsterdam, but once you go outside, they speak Dutch. And if you go to Germany, it's the same. So I was like, I really don't want to learn German, and I don't know if I like this culture very much. It's really good because you can travel a lot, but I was like, do I want to travel or do I want to be like stable and build something? I want to build something, and I feel identify myself with the North American culture more. So I was like, Canada is the place. So I stopped those process and I joined Banhack. Banhack is a platform that they like. It's like Honey Badger, but they also have like this people side that they help you to prepare to the interview, to everything. They have lawyers for immigration, everything. So I joined them, and they have like a leap event for bringing people to Canada to interview to Toronto.
Oh, nice. So you were part of the leap?
The leap, Toronto leap. So I got to interview with a lot of companies, and I have like final interview with 5 companies in Toronto.
Cool.
So I was super happy, got my tickets, got super ready, and then they told me like, well, in our platform, there is a very nice company that saw your profile and they want to interview you right now. What is the company? It's Ambans. It's really nice. So we definitely suggest you to do it. And I was like, oh my God, more interview. Okay, let's do it. One more. And then I started talking to Ambans. And I was like, oh, really? I really like their product. I really like their culture. So I was like starting like getting this feeling. So I was like, oh my God, I'm in trouble because I already have the tickets to go to Germany. And then like this process was like every day 2 hours interview, like very long process. But they make it a finish for me to accept the job offer before traveling to Toronto. So I took the offer. But I actually traveled to Toronto November, -16 degrees, like my first time in snow. I was so happy. Still, I was so happy because I don't have snow in Colombia, so I was super happy. And I went there and I apologized to everyone that I was in the final interview. I was like, I really found a job in Vancouver that I really like. But I try to keep the connections because you don't know what you're going to do, or maybe if I don't know, I want to live in 2 years in Toronto because it's a really nice city too. Like I really want to close those doors, so I went there. And I had like vacation.
Can you tell us what were the other companies you interviewed?
I don't remember the name very well. I know there were like Lending Loop is one. The other one, Skip the Dishes, I think. Yeah, that is the name. I don't remember actually the names.
Okay, and
I just
then
forgot about it and joined it.
yeah, that's okay. And so you would say that you chose Unbounce mostly because of their culture, or also the technologies that they used,
or the city, Vancouver,
or the city, because
I honestly didn't know Vancouver. Like I heard a lot of things about Vancouver, and I was trusting people, but I really didn't know the city, so I couldn't say like, oh, I know the city and I really like it. I think it was more everything. Like I really like the product. Like when I was talking with them, they took the time to interview me with the VP, with people that I have to work with. The type of interview was really more practical than just like I really don't like this whiteboarding that as you like to do. Let's do a binary search. Or let's do, I don't know.
Yeah, I would love to know if anyone would research those type of interviews and see what is the difference of having those interviews, because I don't know anyone who enjoys doing that. It's just a curiosity. I don't know.
I talk with people in Amazon that I met someone in Seattle, and they told me like they are just looking for rock stars, and they are aware they are losing very good people because of this memorized stuff, but they don't care because there's tons of people applying every day. So.
Yeah.
But I really like from my side, because before I used to hire people and interview people, I really like to take one piece of my work and prove the skill in the real environment, because I feel like I can identify more how they solve problems day to day and not memorizing like let's read the cracking the code interview book. And yeah, I don't know, it's just like Stella, my opinion.
Yeah, that's good to know. I do know some people in Unbounce, and I do know there are really good people working there. And I know that Van Ruby, for example, the meetup, they are hosted in the Unbounce
yes, we
office.
Host Van Ruby, we host the React meetup. We have the Woman in Dominate Male Industry meetup. We have Tech in Color. Like we have so many meetups. There is a really cool space, so we are very open to host.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's cool. Yeah, I also got my job through VanHack.
Oh wow!
And it was pretty cool. Like VanHack really helps you a lot. Like Ilya is a super nice guy.
And his wife is from Brazil. He's Canadian and his wife is from Brazil. So, yeah.
He even speaks Portuguese.
Yes. That is what I tell people, because people is like, oh, what is the difference between Honeybadger? And it's like Honeypot, their platform is like Honeypot on some other platforms just like do the match, and they this is the company and this is you, just talk and solve your thing. But VanHack is like, okay, you have the interview, let's do a mock interview, let's practice. This is the visa paperwork, you should start doing this. Like they are very supporting the process, so I really like them.
Yeah. In Tiago's case, he didn't even pay for the membership at the time. I think that they were starting having the membership, so he didn't even pay for their service, but still Ilya was really helpful.
Yeah, he helped me with the visa process, the paperwork. He gave me some tips. What did that happen to you too? Like, how was your process?
Since I got selected to the leap, I didn't pay for the premium classes, but honestly, I will pay it for sure. Like, I will pay it. I was lucky that I was like, oh, people from the leap don't pay the course. But they were very supportive, and still like. When I came here, I was so scared. I was like, what happened if I don't make it? What happened is this job is not good, or they don't, like, we don't have a good feed. And they told me, no worries, I will get you another job.
That's good.
And he was like, this happened. There was a guy who was here 8 months. He didn't like his job, and he quit his job, and we found him another one. And I was like, okay, so... Okay, let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah. I think it's because it's a big, like, when you want to move abroad, you're like, oh, yeah, I'm so excited. But once you get there, there are a lot of stuff that you have to deal with. Like, you have to adapt. You have to know, oh, where am I going to live? You know, the food is really different. So what would you say was the most difficult part to adapt, or was it really okay for you?
Well, the most difficult part to adapt was like, I don't know. Well, for me, the most difficult part was like understanding rent here. Like getting an apartment here was like kind of tricky. Like I underestimate. Like I just arrived and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to Miami because I have vacations, and I'm gonna just chill and know the city. And people was like, start looking for an apartment. And I was like, no, I'm doing it on the weekend. And people was like, no, here is not like in Colombia. You have to look every day, every hour. I was really. I like at the beginning was like, oh yeah, like this city, a lot of people wants to live here, so there's a lot of people looking for apartments. But I think one of the cultural things that was really hard for me to adapt was because I'm a very hugger person, and people like warn me like, don't hug to everyone when you get there, because people don't like, people from other countries sometimes they don't like, and there is people from everywhere, and it was like really awkward at the beginning for me. But now I like totally okay. Like I know I just do it with Latin people.
Yeah, me
At the
too.
beginning, I was like, this is my boss. It's Canadian. Should I hug her or not? I'm just gonna wait. So,
Yeah. That is weird. I that happened to me too. So nowadays I only hug Latin people because I know that they will understand. But when it's like someone that I don't know, I don't know, just give my hand to
But now what
have a
happens
handshake or something.
is like every Canadian that I work with, they know I'm a hugger, so they hug me. They
Yeah.
know. So they're like, oh, Stella, and I was like, okay, there's a hug coming.
So how do you like your new job at Unbounce?
I love it. Like I really like it. And at the beginning, I was like super impressed because everyone I work with was like super smart. So you get like, oh my god, there's so much smart people working with me, and I was like, oh my god, I had to do this everything right now. But then like with some adapt, I realized that we have like a very culture that is safe to fail.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, I'm able to fail, and nothing's gonna happen. Nobody's gonna look at me like, oh, she's failing. So I started feeling more confident about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good. And did you move with someone else or was just you?
For now, I just move with my dog.
Oh, you have a dog.
And
Yeah.
I was starting to explore the things, so I was like, well, I'm gonna be alone there for now. So I was like, I really need my dog.
Yeah.
And people it's so hard to take a dog with you. It's gonna be in quarantine. But now I start reading, and if you go from Colombia to Europe, you have to take the dog in quarantine and stuff.
Mhm.
But from Canada is so cool.
Yeah.
So they are like, they ask you for the vet letter in English,
Mm-hmm.
and the basitins that are like universal codes,
Yeah.
and the chip, and then you take the dog to the airport in Colombia,
Mhm.
and the airport in Colombia communicate with the airport here,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I arrive here, they already know they're expecting the dog, and
Uh-huh.
they just check it. And actually, I remember like I was waiting to pass to Canada, like I was waiting on immigration, but my dog wasn't brought inside Canada. Officially, my dog was inside Canada first. They secured the dog first.
That's cool. Yeah, we brought our 2 cats with us, and it was also really it was really easy to bring them, just the vaccines and all of
I
that.
think for Europe there is like very
Yeah.
strict rule.
Yeah, that's true. To Europe, it's more complicated. Yeah, I remember about that.
So you said that are you working with Ruby on Rails right now at
Yes,
Unbounce?
I'm working on Ruby on Rails. Well, when I was working in Hers, I came back with Rails, and I have been like trying to learn new things, but also like working in community, self-care, the gym, the dog. It doesn't allow me to learn
Mhm.
that much. So I feel like my stronger tech skill is Rails and like backend side, like servers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they told me like, oh, we have like a very big service in Rails. Would you like to work on it? Yeah, let's do it. So yeah, currently working on Rails.
Rails. And is Unbounce hiring people from abroad right now?
Yes, we have one open position for a backend engineer. We can share the link in the
Sure.
Sure.
Mhm.
I don't think it's Ruby on Rails. Because there's another team. Like we have like different big teams that are in charge of a specific
Mhm.
part of the app, This part is in Java, and I think a little Clojure. I haven't been in that team,
Nice.
but I know it's Java, and they have like a very cool service that also run Lambdas in AWS. So they are doing really, really cool things. There is also so many positions that open to, not right now, but like in the meantime, to like start the process. But this one that I'm telling you is like for now. And almost have lawyers and everything to bring people abroad. So yeah. And we have people from Belarus, from Colombia, from Brazil, from like a lot of parts of the world.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do they have Canadians working there?
Yes, there is a lot of Canadians working there actually.
Yeah, because like sometimes I know so many people here from so many different countries that when I finally meet someone that is Canadian, I'm like, oh yeah, right, we're in Canada.
Yes, it happens. I was impressed because I was not expecting that much Canadian working in Ambas, but they are like some Canadians and they are very, very nice people.
So, when you start working at Unbounce, did you feel like you had a good cultural fit there?
Yes, I feel like they were very passionate with me about like they knew I was the first Colombian because there is a lot of people from Venezuela, Brazil, Mexico, Latin America, but not Colombia. But at least what they did was they created like a Latin group. And they're like, oh, Stella, here's your Latin people to support you. Like, if you have any question in Spanish that maybe we don't get it because we don't know Spanish, they will be able to help you. And these people from Mexico and Venezuela especially, they were like every day asking like, do you have the ID? Do you know how to get an insurance? Do you know did you apply for this? That they were like very checking on me every day. And there are so many things that I didn't know at the beginning. For example, I remember I didn't know how to recycle. It was so hard because in my country it's just one black bag. And if you have paper that you think you're gonna recycle, you put in a white bag. But here is like containers, papers, organic, and I was like, oh my God, so many boxes. I really don't know where to trash this thing. So what am I gonna do? And I was like all the time like asking, and they were like, when we have like a party and we finish and we have to trash the things, they were like next to me like, Stella, let's help you. So this one is here, this one is here until like I learn. And I was very supportive because I remember like trashing garbage for me was an awkward moment. Like I was just waiting for people to do something. So I was like, okay, they do it this way, I'm gonna do it this way too. So yes.
Yeah, that's really nice about having this group because when we got here, Tiago knew some Brazilians here and they really helped us a lot too. So I think that having that group is a really nice idea.
Yeah, I think because there is like a people and culture person like assigned to me, and she was like the responsible to help me. But I feel that was smart because she was like, okay, I can help her with things that I can do, but I can also make this group for her to talk in Spanish and think more like quickly because in Spanish she speaks like quicker. Also, I remember something very cool from my manager. Like she researched about Colombian working culture to explain me like the difference. Like, oh, I know Colombian people work this way, but we work this way. So I was like, oh my god! Like she did like a very good homework. Yes.
Well, that's nice.
So cool. Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about the differences between how people work in Colombia and how people work here?
I feel like here people allow you first to feel safe and to be more creative, to be more open about feedback. Like I feel feedback is more direct and more informative. Like something that happened in Colombia is like, I don't know if it happened in Brazil. Like people try to make, if they are saying something bad about you, they don't like. I feel like if you fail here, okay, you did something bad, you stop. People stop you and say, hey, you did this because of this, and show you like a specific information. And I'm telling you this because, yeah, you did it wrong, and we want you to make it better next time. Learn from this, okay? Move on and continue. But then in Colombia, it's like if people say something like that, you're like, oh, this person don't like me, and now he's saying these things because for my team to think I am not enough, and it's like this ghosty thing, and you don't realize that actually you're gonna do things wrong. But if someone tells you, you're able to learn and to be better. Like feedback is for being better. So I feel that is like huge difference, and I really like it about here. Like it took me a little to understand that part, because sometimes you feel it, like it comes to you and you feel emotional because we are Latin people. And we like
That's
drama.
true. Oh yeah, the telenovelas.
But then, yes. But then I remember, okay, feedback is for me grow and be better and learn, and then take it easy. So yes, that is like one huge difference.
And what about like work-life balance? Because what I felt when I got here is that I had more time to be with my family and do other things besides working, because I'm from São Paulo, so I had to like work all the time, work late. So how do you feel about that?
Well, I feel like life balance here is a big deal for people and from companies, because I feel they understand what we do. Like we are not machines writing codes. We are like, actually for me, we are artists. We need inspirations. Like when we see a problem, we need to sit, think about it, analyze options, and build something. So you need to rest to actually like improve your performance. And what happened in Latin America, especially in Colombia, is like sometimes a lot of people is like, oh, I'm gonna start a startup, but they don't know anything about development. So they just want like 10 ex-developers to do design, front and back end, DevOps, and fix the printer and the phone and everything. And they don't realize, and sometimes it causes like people actually get burned out super quickly, and just like, oh, I just won't do anything, or the software doesn't get like so many improvement because people is just trying to ship, but don't take the time to think about quality. So yes, I definitely feel like I have so much time. Like I remember when I joined the company, I have some planned vacations with my friends on February. Like I joined on December, and I was feeling terrible. I was like, oh my God, I only have 2 months of being hired and I'm taking vacations. They're gonna think like I'm a super lazy person. Then I realized it was totally okay, and a lot of people was doing it. And then I took those vacations, and 2 months after, my boss was like, oh, you have a lot of vacation spendings. Let's start planning your vacations for you to enjoy, like summer and stuff. And I was like, really? I just took vacations, and they are actually promoting to take me time off. I was like super impressed. Yes, so I definitely feel that. And if someone is like working late, actually they get like, why are you working so late? What is going on? So.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay, so Stella, the last question is like, do you have any advice for people that are trying to find a job abroad?
What worked for you and what people should avoid?
What worked for me, first is the mindset. Like sometimes we feel like, maybe they're gonna feel like since I'm like from a South American country, I won't be enough or something. And that is bullshit. Like we can totally make it. so that is nothing related about it. About the language, some people think like, oh, I don't speak very well. Maybe they won't hire me because they won't hire you to talk to you. Like, you have to make sense and express your ideas and work as a team, but you don't have to like pronounce really well. Like, you can hear me. I have my like Colombian accent, and they get my idea. So that is not like a big barrier. You have to practice. And other thing like I will say is like study and practice for the future. Like, those interviews are gonna challenge you, and so yeah, practice, and also don't underestimate the soft skills, because like I know many companies that they don't like they evaluate high technical skilled people, but that is not good enough. Like, you can be so good technical, but if you don't know how to work as a team, how to like work with others, coach others, they won't hire you. So like, yeah, people think like, oh, that is not important. It is like the same importance of technical. So like, invest a little, read about it, practice.
Yeah. Wow, that was really nice. Thank you for sharing. So we are at the end of our interview with Stella. Stella, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm sure a lot of people will find it super helpful. And if it's okay with you, we can share your contact in the description notes so people can reach out to you. And so thank you everyone that is listening to our episode. Don't forget to share with your friends and subscribe to our newsletter. That's hexdevs.com.
Thank you so much, Stella, for sharing your story with us. I think it's going to inspire a lot of people that want to move abroad or get a better job. So you're going to help a bunch of people.
Okay,
so thank you very much
for having me.